Hi everybody and welcome to a bit more shed time. So we're back with the Himalayan 450, and if you watched some of the previous videos, in those videos I showed you fitting the things like the pannier rails, the handguards, and basically we're getting this bike prepped so we can go and take it on a bit of a tour. We did fit a satnav bracket, which is super cool, and the one thing I'm going to do today is hardwire it in. Now I didn't want to connect it just to the battery terminals, because if you leave the satnav on it's likely to drain the battery on the bike. So I thought this video might be quite useful for you guys, so let's crack on with it. So I'll just show you how the satnav is sitting, and I think that sits really nice on the bike, but like I say, this is the cable that we kind of need to hardwire. And first of all, we need to get the seats off, and if you've never took your seats off the Himalayan, like a lot of motorcycle seats, you've got the key just under the rider's seat there, and that back one will just lift straight off, as does the rider's seat. Like I said, I didn't want to hardwire it straight into the battery, although that would be the easy option, but that kind of like puts it at risk if I leave the sat nav on and it drains the battery and then we can't start the bike. So let's get this tank off. In order to do that, we're gonna have to remove this bracket. Okay, so we're gonna need a 5mm Allen key. Take this long bolt out here, and then we've got these 3 bolts there, which are a 5mm Allen key. I think that's a 10mm on the socket. You're gonna need a spanner on the other end as well. I've got my little magnetic tray. These are really good to have as well. So if you're anything like me and you're a bit clumsy and you start kicking all the bolts around the floor, and the amount I've lost over the years. The other thing we've done to the bike as well, since we last filmed the footage on it, was we've now got the tubeless rims on, which is great. Over here I've still got the tubed ones, so when I bought the new ones they also come with the discs and the ABS ring, so that's really cool, because what I'm thinking about doing now is when we go to like the ABR and stuff like that, I might get some proper rally tyres for these bikes, still use the tube ones, just swap them out the day before, and yeah, you can go tackle like the TRF course there, even thinking about putting it through the Bog of Doom, which would be really good. And then for the tank, what we're going to do is just loosen it off a bit. You kind of lift it up and pull it backwards, but there's a few things underneath we need to disconnect as well. So if we just use that bracket just to prop that up there. So on this side we've got a couple of hoses, and there's 2 different sizes. So in fact, if I just get the torch, just shine that in there. See, we've got these 2 hoses, sort of one goes to the back and one goes to the front. They are slightly different in diameter, but if you get your fingers under there you can just feel them, and you've basically got to pull them off. So there's one off, and there's the other one off. So you can probably see there, they are 2 different diameters. I mean, it might be worth just labelling one if you're worried about getting them mixed up, but if you put your fingers under there, you can feel there's a difference. The smaller one is at the back and they're next to each other, and you've got to kind of then got to push them back on there. So next to that you've got the one with the little yellow button, and you kind of need to push that in, and that will pull out to the left. There we go. I've just used a small flathead screwdriver just to push that in, and you might get a bit of fuel out there as well, which it's just held in that pipe. So just got a plastic glass there. We'll just, yeah, I think it's only a few drops. And then if we can get in there with a camera, next to that there's also a little plug. My rubber mallet under there, just get a better view. So next to that there's another plug that needs to come down, and the switch for that is just on this left hand side. I don't know if you can just just see that. So you kind of need to push that in and just pull it down. Again, you know, I think you have to be super careful you don't go breaking anything off here, but that's it. So yeah, again, just press that in with a small flathead screwdriver. Just be nice and gentle with it, and that'll just pull down, and that just clips into there. And then we've just got one more to do on the opposite side. So on this side, just get a bit of light in there, and the same format. There we go. And that's disconnected that. And that's it to get the tank off. So now that should just pull off. And there we go, tank off. So that's how you access your air filter if you want to do the air filter check. So if you want to service your bike yourself, it's well worth checking that out. And if you just come back around this side, this is the little accessory accessory switch that we need to be wiring into here. So it even says accessories. So it's on the left hand side when you take the tank off. There's a couple of other connectors there, but it's distinctively the red one. So that's the one we're going to be wiring in. But that's where we're going to be kind of feeding the wire through here straight into there. So whilst we've got the tank off, you can see on this right hand side, this is what happened when I went to the ABR last year. And yeah, basically I broke the #1 rule for the nomadic nights, is don't ride too close to the person in front. And I was following a guy down the trails who was out riding with me, and he hit the brakes to go down the advanced bit, and I was too late to stop the bike, and it took a right good hit on the right side. Luckily, it didn't touch the forks or anything, but actually bent the crash bar on the tank, pushed it right in, which I've still got on the bike, but you can't see it because we've got the pannier side bags. And I am going to either get that kind of repaired, or the other option is just buy a new tank. I mean, it's not too much of a problem at this point. And I did inquire about a new tank, and I can get a new tank for 250 quid. It's probably going to cost me more to get somebody to fill it and spray it to match it in. And 250 quid, I can have a new tank. And that's the beauty of these bikes. The parts are so cheap. It's like, if that was a Ducati, it'd be $2.5 grand. So yeah, next thing, cable, which I've got down here. This is a new cable that I bought for the TomTom rider, because the last one I had on the last bike got chopped up. So yeah, that's basically going to plug straight into there, and we'll kind of just feed that cable down through there. So the next bit really is to see how much we need to chop off. I will give it a little bit of extra play. There we go, what a great tool they are. So with the red accessory plug, in order to just free that up from the bike, again, a little flathead screwdriver under there, and that will just pull off this clip here as well. So yeah, you just need to disconnect that to get that off there. It's got a couple of rubber bungs in the end here as well, which we're going to have to pick out, because that's where the wires are going to go. Again, one black wire, one red wire, exactly the same as what's on my TomTom system. I'm sure it'll probably be the same on any other satnav as well. And just to release that cap, that just pulls off. So like I said, it's got these little rubber kind of, I guess, dust covers on that cap there. So I'm going to pick those out with a little pick, and that's where we're going to be feeding the wires through. And I'm not sure, I've never used one of these before, and I'm just going to push the wires in each side, and hopefully they'll just connect onto the other plug. But like I say, if I can do this, you can. But let me know in the comments if there's anything you think that needs to be done to that, or that is the correct way to do it. But that's the way I'm going to do it. So I've got a little pick here, so I'm just going to pick these little dust covers off. and they are literally just like those rubber bungs. So what I've done before I connect this up is I've just plugged it into the sat nav and just run the cable down, just so I know it's going to sit okay. Then I've passed it through the cables there just to give it a bit of support. I don't know if it's just a case of pushing them in and they just wrap around the bottom, but we'll give that a go. So yeah, as I push them through there, the wires just come out at the bottom. So what I've done there, I've just kind of like looped them back around. And like I say, I'm not sure if this is the correct way of how to wire this in, but I'm guessing once it's pushed in, it will clip in and hold. And then what I think I'll do is, I don't know if I'll try pushing the bungs back in there or just put some electrical tape just to stop anything getting in there. Yeah, so those bungs do fit back in nicely, and it holds that cable nice and tight as well. So I'm guessing that's probably much job done. The only thing is, at this stage I can't actually turn the bike on because nothing's connected back up, so you are going to have to put everything back together before you can actually test the sat nav. But like I said, I think that's pretty much done it. I can't see any reason why that wouldn't connect, and we're pushing those rubber bungs back in. It's kind of trapped the wires and it's made it nice and tight, stops any water or any dirt getting back in there. So yeah, let's put it back together and we'll see if it works. So same process, putting it back together, just push that in, you can hear the clip. So again, that just pushes up forward. And what I would say is, if you're going to do this job, try and run your fuel down first. There's a bit of fuel in there, not too much, it'll just reduce the weight of the tank. Just pop that rubber mallet under there. So in reverse order, we'll come back around this side, and this is where we're going to need to connect up. I don't know if this is just like a fuel sensor on this side. We'll just connect this one up first. Listen to the click. We'll take this plug, you know which way it's got to go because you've got the little switch on the side there. That's that one clicked in. And again, that one's on. And then just leaves these two pipes. And like I said, there's two different diameters. If you feel under there, you can definitely feel a difference, so you shouldn't really get them wrong. The only thing is, there ain't much leverage there, so you kind of got to drop the tank down a little bit more in order to push them on. And it is a fiddly job, and it might be a little bit frustrating, but you will get there eventually. So I think the best way to do it is when you've got the tank on, just pull it to the left a bit, because you've got a bit of movement there, and you can actually visually see up into the tank where the hoses have got to go, so you can actually see whether they've gone on correctly, which they have now. That's pretty much it. At this stage, before we do the bracket back up, we can actually see if the sat nav is going to work now. So as soon as I fire the bike up, it shows me on the sat nav that is now charging. So if I just turn it off, you can see that the sat nav is now going to turn itself off unless I obviously hit the cancel button. But yeah, as soon as you fire the bike up and the bike's running, that then accessory port activates the power to the sat nav, which is just what I wanted. So yes, that has worked. And that's great for Royal Enfield putting that there, because like I said, it just makes things so much easier as well. I think reading into it a little bit more, doing Scotland is like, if you're going to do the NC 500, and that's predominantly what we're going to go and do, you've got to really seriously think in booking months in advance. So we're going to do it in the month of May. Apparently, reading into it a little bit, it's kind of a good month to do it. You don't get eaten alive by the midges, or hopefully not. But yeah, we're going to start just outside Inverness, and we're basically going to be travelling up anti-clockwise. People have suggested this, going up this A9. We're going to be stopping up near Wick, going round Johnny Groats and carrying on this north coast there, round to Dunnes, and then heading down the west side and basically heading down to the Applecross Pass and back round, just over 500 miles. So Amy's been doing all the planning of things like the waterfalls. I've been doing the planning of the things like the whiskey distilleries. And yeah, hopefully we're not going to rush it. That's the thing. I don't want to do a tour where I think, oh, I've got to get around in 3 days. We're going to do it over the time and duration we've planned, which is a few days. So we can take you guys along, show you a bit of Scotland, show you if it's any good or not, whether it's worthwhile doing in 2025 as a motorcycle adventure. Hope you like the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Give us a like, and I'll see you in the next one.